Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon for a album review for Smash Into Pieces' new record, Ghost Code, that I got a chance to listen to for this 12-track record. This is, I guess, their long-awaited studio album since they've dropped so many singles for this record. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 12-track album for Ghost Code by Smash Into Pieces and let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now, it's only like 38 and a half minutes, so it's not very long of a record. It's close to 40 minutes of a runtime. But still, it starts with the single that came out in January this year, early January, Trigger, which I think was a pretty strong track. I really liked the mixing. This was one of my favorite songs for the record, personally. Um, I personally thought that the lead singer's vocals, which let me know in the comment section below, because I tend to forget sometimes who the band members are for this band, but overall, I think this track worked for what it went for. So this is a 5 out of 5. Sorry about the ding, that's my messenger. Afterglow was pretty good too. I really enjoyed this. It starts off a little slow with the mixing and the production and some of the drum work sounding alright, but then it picks up as the rest of the track goes on. Chorus wise, it's pretty strong, and yeah, this was a pretty good song. 5 out of 5. Heroes Are Calling is my least favorite. I think it's above average. It's not anything great that I've listened to from them, but it's probably the weakest song I've listened to off this record. So this is a 3.75 out of 5. I don't rarely come back to this track because of how cringy it sounds some of the time. I mean, it's a motivational song, but it's just like, it is what it is. I mean, there's some moments where I like it, and some moments where I'm just like, not feeling it too much. Flow was a personal favorite track. I really like the scream vocals from the lead singer, sounding really outstanding, and just overall, this track impressed me with its mixing, the drum work. I mean, there were some repetitive moments from time to time with brand new song, and other things he was reciting. That kind of got a little repetitious, but overall, this track did work for what it went for, so 5 out of 5. The Tide was a pretty strong track. Really enjoyed this one too, so this is a 5 out of 5. I'm really digging the lead singer's vocals, the drum work, the mixing, the production. It's pretty outstanding. 6 Feet Under is pretty strong of a track. I almost thought this was a Weekend cover at first, but no, when I listened to it again, because I know I listened to it last year, because this was one of the singles, along with Flow, Afterglow, Heroes Are Calling, Venom, Out of Here, Sleepwalking was a single. So there was quite a bit of singles for this record. I will tell you that. But still, 6 Feet Under is getting a 5 out of 5. Venom was only 2 minutes and 46 seconds of a track, and it was pretty strong. I wasn't sure if I was used to the track technically, but it grew on me throughout time. So this is a strong 5 out of 5. I just had to give it a full listen and see what I thought of the track. And I like the mixing, the lead singer's vocals in this track, and just the production and all that sounds pretty good, along with the drum work. So this song works. Let It All Out is a 4.75 out of 5. I think it's pretty good in its own way, but there are some cringe moments through the track that I found to be iffy. But it still stood out as a strong track for what it went for. Just not one of my personal favorites, technically. So this is a 4.75 out of 5. Out of Here is a solid track. I mean, this track's kind of slow with its production and mixing, but I think it tries, and the lead singer's vocals is pretty good. But overall, this track doesn't really interest me too much. I mean, it's fine, but it's a track to get through the record, and was one of the singles since last September. Excuse my yawning. Was one of the singles since last September of 2023. So basically, it's a 4.5 out of 5. Watching Over You was a favorite of mine. It took a little bit to get used to the verses, but I think I could get on board with this track. It's pretty strong of a song, so this is a 5 out of 5. Sleepwalking is a 4.75 out of 5. It's pretty good, but it just doesn't intrigue me with certain execution moments, with its mixing and production and just the way the song is overall playing out. There's some good moments and some hit or miss moments. So yeah, Bleed is the closing track to the record, and not a very strong closing track. It's pretty good, but I just don't really care to really give it a hard listen and see if I really enjoy it. Maybe I'll have a different opinion later on if I listen to this album more, which I'll come back to this album frequently, but basically this is a 4.75 out of 5. So overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Smash Into Pieces' Ghost Code record is kind of a step down from Disconnect. Their 2022 album, because that album I really did enjoy. This one, I just felt there were some weak moments with like Heroes Are Calling, Let It All Out of Here, Sleepwalking, and Bleed being the only songs that I could kind of not really see myself growing attached to too much. I mean, they're not bad tracks, they're just not great songs in any way. But overall, the rest of the tracks are pretty strong. But if I were to give this record an overall score, I'm going to have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's an average album. It's not one of my personal favorite records for this year. And it's sad to say because some of the singles were pretty strong and some of the tracks were pretty strong. But Heroes Are Calling kind of ruined it for me. This track just wasn't my favorite song for the record. It just sounded a little cringy with how it was playing out. But hey, they tried to make it work with its production and it did okay. But it's not anything to write home about. This album's just something to come back to frequently, and then it's kind of something to forget about as the rest of the year goes on. So 7.5 out of 10 for Smash Into Pieces Ghost Code for their new album. Thank you for watching this album review today.